Welcome back. We'll start with our next class on biogeographical regionalization. Now this would be our third class on it, where we would be discussing exclusively on terrestrial animals. Now the next class that we would work around would be on the aquatic plants and animals. Starting with the terrestrial animals, the first major classification that you need to know is the Wallace classification, which we have already covered in a separate lecture. So for Wallace classification, you can refer that lecture. Now some of the major important classifications that we would be doing today are Merriam, Skelter, Smith, then Smith, Porsche, Ramdani. So these would be Cox. These would be some of the major classifications we would be discussing for terrestrial animals. Now as we said, biogeographical regionalization has gained importance for UPSC in the last few years, and therefore you can expect at least one question in the coming examination from this section. Now the first classification here is the Merriam classification. Merriam classification, first of all, is an American classification. So the 6 zones that are given are based on the American region or based on the American topography. The idea was this classification is based on life zones as the Candole's classification that we have talked previously, and this focused mainly only on the North and the Central America, not even the South America. And this was later on used by numerous ecologists for their studies. So the areas that he tried to demarcate were the Boreal area, then you had the transitional area, you had the Sonoran Desert. So you have the Sonoran Desert upper and lower. So two categories or two classification for the Sonoran region or the Sonoran Desert area. Then finally the Lower California and the tropical area. So these were the 6 areas that Merriam demarcated. The next was Skelter's classification, very important classification. Now the key here to understand here is, he again divided the region into 6 zones. However, his classification was based on bird taxonomy and bird classification. Furthermore, he divided the whole globe into 2 basic regions. The first was the Neogea and the Paleogea. So Neogean region and the Paleogean region. In the Neogean region, he classified Nearctic and Neotropical. So Nearctic was the North America and Neotropical was the South America region. So these were the 2 regions that he classified under Neogene. Now remember, the Neogene that was given by Skelter was much different from the Neogene that was given by the next person that we would be discussing, that is Smith. So the Neogene region under the first one that we are talking about, that's the Skelter, consisted of whole of the American continent. However, under Smith, it was only the South America region which was known as the Neogene. So that's very important to understand. Now under the Paleogene classification, he classified 4 regions again, so total 6 regions. So first of the region was Palearctic, so the northern portions, that was Palearctic. Then the Ethiopian region, that was the northern African and the African region. The next important region was the Indian Middle region, and the last was the Australian region, that was the Australian region. So 4 regions under Paleogene, 2 regions under Neogene given by Skelter. The basis was bird classification. The next was the Smith classification. Now Skelter's classification was very old, it was from 1858. The next classification, that was Smith's classification, was much recent and was a kind of modified Wallace classification that was given, and it was given in 1954. He divided the world merely into 3 realms. The first was the Neogene realm, and according to him, Neogene was the South American region rather than whole of the American continent, which included both North America and South America under Skelter. So under Smith, Neogene was merely South America. Then you had Notogene, which was Australia. So the Australian region was known as Notogene. And finally you had one more region which was known as Arctogene, and this Arctogene included the remaining all areas which was near Arctic, Palearctic, the Ethiopian region and the Oriental and the Asian region. The next was Cox classification. Cox classification was laid down in much later years, that was 2001, and this was again a mammal classification. So it was a zoogeographic classification which was based on the mammals present in the region. Now which classification, the basis for which classification was what is again very important. So as we saw, Scalter's classification was based on birds. Rest all till what we have done now are based on mammals, and then you have one more important classification by Porsche that was based on bats, and bats are considered as a mammal, but we are focusing on specifically on bats in that classification. So Cox classification divided the world into 6 zones, and these 6 zones were North America, South America, the Africa region, the Eurasia region, the Oriental region, that's the Asia region, and the Australia region. So North America, South America, Oriental, Asia, Africa, Europe and Australia. So the major continents, as we can see, leave out the Antarctic. So besides Antarctic, the remaining continents form the 6 zones of the Cox classification. The next was Cushell's classification. Now under all these classifications, they said that the wildlife that occur in that specific region is native to that particular area. Now Cushell's classification was important. He laid down the classification in 1964, and it was primarily based on the terrestrial animals, specifically from the southern continents. So like the Merriam's classification, which was focused on America, Cushell's classification was based on southern continents, and he explained that Antarctica acts as a land bridge. So there is a kind of austral region which includes the Patagonia, Australia and South Africa, and this austral region acts as a bridge between the 2 different biogeographical realms. The next was the Smith classification, again very important. Now Smith classification divided the world into 4 regions. The first was the Holoarctic. Now these 4 regions were further subclassified under 10 regions. So we would talk about those 10 later. So the 4 major regions first of all were Holoarctic, the Latin American region, then you have the island areas. So this was a special classification where islands were mentioned specifically as separate entity or a separate region under animal classification. And finally was the Afro-Tethys area. So Tethys was the region where you have the present day Himalayas that are seen. So he classified the world into these 4 regions. Now under island areas, he gave the Australian islands, the Madagascar island and the West Indian islands. Under Africo-Tethys, he gave again 3 regions. These were the Mediterranean, Ethiopian and the Asian or the surrounding areas of Himalayas. Under Latin America, he talked about the Neotropical and the Argentina region, and under the Holoarctic, he talked about the Nearctic and the Palearctic, Nearctic forming the North America and Palearctic forming the northern parts of Eurasia. The next was Porsche classification. Now as we said, again Smith's classification was based on numerical analysis, so that's again very important. He used quantitative data for his analysis. Porsche classification, very important, classified the regions based on bats, and these bats or the group of bats is known as Chiroptera. So this classification was based on bats, and based on this classification he laid down 4 different regions. The North American region, so the bats of North America are different from the bats of Patagonia, Palearctic and the Ethiopian region. So these were the 4 regions that he classified. So Palearctic, that's again the Eurasian region. You have the Ethiopian region, the parts of Africa. Then you have the Patagonia, that's South America, and the North American region. The next was the classification by Krefft and Jets. They again used statistical analysis. They divided the world into 30 regions with 6 kingdoms, and it was a kind of multivariate statistical analysis that was used. Again the regions that were classified were the Neotropical, that's South America, then you had the Australian region, you have the Oriental region, the Palearctic, Neoarctic and the finally the African region. So these were the major regions given under Krefft and Jets. Then you have Posh and Ramdhani. Their classification was based on the composition of the mammal assemblage. So how many mammals are found in a specific area, and they calculated cluster analysis for the same, based on which they gave 14 regions and 4 transitions. The 4 transitions are important. The first transition is the Caribbean island, the next is the Caribbean region, then you have the Sahara Arabian region, and finally you have one more, that is the Sino-Himalayan or the Himalayan region. So these were some of the terrestrial classifications that we have talked about. The details of these are available in the postal course, so you can refer the postal course for extensive details on those. Now coming on to another important classification method, which is not based on a kind of scientific classification by someone, but a basis for animal classification. Now there are 2 terms that you would be hearing off and on. One is steno and other is euro. Euro means wide and steno means narrow. Now if you remember this, you can go forward with all these classifications very simply. So steno means narrow. So if it is based on climate, so the climate would include humidity as a parameter. So steno-hygric means they can accept narrow range of humidity changes. Euro-hygric means they can accept wide range of humidity changes. When it comes to temperature, we call it as thermal. So they are either eurothermal or stenothermal. Eurothermal can accept wide range of temperature changes, while stenothermal can accept only narrow range of temperature changes. Under stenothermal, you further have 2 classifications, thermophilic and cryophilic. Cryophilic are those who live at a lower temperature, and thermophilic are those which live at a higher temperature. And finally, based on the food intake, again you have the stenophagous and the urophagus. So stenophagous are those which can eat on selected items, for example kind of herbivorous population. However, urophagus are those which can accept a huge variety of food items, for example omnivores. So they can accept plants, they can accept animals and so on. So they have a kind of wide variety of food options for them. So these were the 3 classifications. For all these 3 classifications, you have the same term, that is steno and euro, that you must remember in. So with this we cover the details on the terrestrial classification, the terrestrial animals for the biogeographical regionalization. As we said, this topic is gaining importance as per the recent trend of UPSC. However, it's still dicey. There can be huge fluctuations in the type of questions that are asked. We would be focusing on more topics that are contemporary for geography in the upcoming lectures. Have a good day ahead.